In this lesson, we learn how to name complex ionic compounds. Complex ionic compounds are when the cation and O anions are polyatomic. They are not monoatomic like sodium or magnesium or oxygen, chlorine. No, they are multi-atomic, like more than one atoms are present in the anions or cations. So these cations or anions cannot be picked from the periodic table. You need to memorize these with the formulas, with the charge on them. These cations or anions need to be memorized. Now, some of the cations are +1, and we don't have any other example where they are +2 or +3, but anions could be -1, -2, or -3. So the only example of cation the is ammonium. So you need to memorize like this: NH4 +1 ammonium. So what is the formula? NH4. What is the charge? +1. And what's the name? Ammonium. Similarly for anions, -1s are, these are the most common one. OH -1 is hydroxide. CN -1 is cyanide. Nitrate is NO3 -1. And CH3COO -1 has two names, ethanoate or acetate. Again, you need to memorize these. They are not in the periodic table. So they need to be memorized as they are shown in this table. For example, if the name shows nitrate, so you need to know it's NO3 -1. The most commonly used -2 anions are carbonate, CO3 2-, and sulfate, SO4 2-. The only anions with -3 charge is phosphate, which is PO4 and 3-. So if you have already watched the video naming simple or binary ionic compounds, the procedure is same, method is same with few changes. If you have not watched that already, so please watch that before we go ahead. So now we'll do some examples using the cation and anion, which are polyatomic. Oh, by the way, in the complex ionic compounds, the anions are always multiatomic, but cation can be monoatomic. For example, we may use sodium, magnesium, or lithium, or it could be polyatomic like ammonium, but anions are always multiatomic or polyatomic. So let's do some questions and let's do some examples for the complex ions. In these examples, we see that ammonium and sulfate, there are cation anions, both are polyatomic. Similarly, aluminum and nitrate, the aluminum is monoatomic, but nitrate is polyatomic. So let's work on that. From the table I've shown you before, we see that ammonium is NH4. So you write NH4, and because ammonium is +1, so we write plus. Sulfate formula was SO4 and 2-. So we use crisscross method. In the crisscross method, this 2 of the sulfate goes there, and this 1 goes there. Now, this is something different in writing the formula of ionic compounds, that when 2 goes towards NH4, so you write NH4, and that 2 doesn't come next to 4, otherwise it becomes 42. So we need to have a bracket around NH4 and then write 2 outside. And similarly, SO4 is only 1, so we don't need to have a bracket. But if it was 2 or 3, SO4 were 2 or 3 units, then we again need bracket for that. So this is the formula of ammonium sulfate. We use same crisscross method. Just make sure that there is a bracket if the polyatomic anion or cation is more than 1 present. We must need a bracket. Let's see another example. Aluminum is, from the periodic table, we know that aluminum is 3+, and nitrate is NO3 and -1. Now, crisscross method says that these 3 go outside the nitrate, and similarly this one comes here, But like I mentioned before, this 3 of aluminum cannot go next to the 3 which is already there. That becomes 33. We don't want that. So we need a bracket. So what we do, aluminum is 1. So we don't write anything. For nitrate, first we need to have it in the bracket, and then 3 outside. So in the crisscross method for multi-atomic ions, if there are more than one, we need to have a bracket first and then write the number. Let's see a few more examples. In these examples, let's try again the same formula. So we have sodium. We have sodium, which is +1, and carbonate, CO3, and 2 minus is a charge. Now, crisscross method, this 2 goes there to the sodium subscript, and 1 goes there. Now, because sodium is monoatomic cation, we don't need a bracket here. The bracket comes only for multi-atomic cations or anions. So we write sodium and 2. If it was a multi-atomic cation, I would have the bracket there first. And then we write carbonate. Because carbonate is only 1, we simply write carbonate. So this is sodium carbonate. Let's try magnesium phosphate. So Mg is 2 plus, and phosphate is PO4 3 minus. Again, crisscross method, this 3 goes there, and this 2 goes there outside the bracket. So Mg, because this is not multi-atomic, so Mg is 3 without bracket. And for PO4, we want 2 of the PO4 units, anion. So we need a bracket, PO4 first, and then outside the bracket, 2. So this is magnesium phosphate. I'll give you the example. You try to do it yourself. You can pause video here and try to do these questions. You have 5 minutes to write the names of these ionic compounds. Once you're done, you can resume the video. Okay, you can see the answers of ammonium nitrate and sodium sulfate. I'll do aluminum phosphate and magnesium carbonate here again. So aluminum is 3 plus, and phosphate is 3 minus. When the charges of cation and anion exactly same, they cancel each other. You don't need to crisscross, just put them together. So aluminum phosphate. All right. Same is true for magnesium sulfate, magnesium carbonate. So Mg is 2 plus, carbonate is 2 minus. So you can just write them together, MgCO3. I hope you understand how to name ionic compounds. And if you have any issue, you can watch this video again. I hope it will make sense. Thank you.